While she was selling sweets, the girl started to advertise her products. A boy came towards her asking why she is selling those sweets, but when she asked, she was already putting her hands in the basket where the sweets were. She walks away and replies, "I'm selling because I sell candies. Do you want candy or not?" He starts to pull the basket from her hands and say, "We are agreeing, let me see this candy here." Already getting scared of the situation in which she was testing it, she asks, "Sir, give me my basket, please stop. I'm working," and insisting. He says, "Our clothes are even matching, look at the beautiful couple that we serious." Then, he starts forcing her to give him the sweets. The girl says that if he wants candy he has to pay, and the boy, then, he replies, that if he wants he can buy all those candies. She puts one in her mouth. As soon as she tries it she spits it out on the floor and starts screaming, "Wow, what a horrible bullet sticks to your teeth." The girl, picking up all the bullets that were thrown on the floor, says, "What did you do this to me for? Look at it all spread out." He says he doesn't care. A guy who noticed the situation and told the guy to get out of there, "Are you going crazy throwing those bullets on the floor? That's her job." The guy tells him to be quiet and starts talking bad about the candies that were being sold. Once again the guy who stopped to help tells the guy to get out of there before he calls the police. The guy pushes the girl away. Basket and go. After the situation had already passed, the girl thanked him for the help, and he said, "This square here gathers a lot of strange people. I work at that sugarcane juice stand. Anything you need, you can call me." She is happy to learn that he is also a salesman. He asks her name. She replies saying she is Andressa. He says, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Bruno." She thanks him again for the help, and as soon as he leaves she thinks it's good that there are people like that. A little later, the same boy who mistreated the candy seller messed with another woman who was lying on the bench. "What a wonderful woman, I'm going to go there," and walks towards the girl. "Wow, it seems that God made you for me," and he says, while passing his hands on the girl, who quickly gets up, "Are you going crazy?" He tries to kiss her by force, but she runs away and screams that she will sue him. Laughing, he says, "Why run back here?" At the table, the cell phone rings, and when he answers it, he receives the news that he is being sent away. Still in the square, Andressa is selling the candies when another customer stops and asks how much the candies are and what flavors they have. She responds, and he tries to force her, saying he doesn't want any but a kiss from her. She refuses, and he leaves nervously. As soon as he leaves, she thinks about how difficult it is to be a salesperson these days, and soon after, the guy who threw her candy on the floor comes back. Andressa tries to get away, but he holds the basket of candy. Bruno, seeing what was happening, comes from behind, grabs the boy and throws him to the other side. The two start to fight, and the boy asks if Bruno is Batman to protect the candy seller every time, and then he leaves saying that will come back. Andressa takes the basket and says, "You saving me again. I don't know what to say to thank you." He says it's because he's always there. Changing the subject, Andressa asks, "And have you been working here for a long time? Can you get good money?" He explains, "Oh, I'm a street vendor. Some sell more and others less. What I really wanted to have a signed workbook service would help me a lot." Trying to help, Vanessa says, "I heard that there is a new factory nearby. Take a resume there, I'm almost sure they'll call you." He gets excited about the vacancy that came up and replies, saying, "Tomorrow, I'm going to leave even more tidy with resume in hand, and I'll stop by." She wishes her a good afternoon and says she'll go try to go sell some more bullets. When she leaves, Bruno thinks since she's a good person, I'll hope sales are good. While Bruno and Andressa were talking, the guy he had just fought was hiding, listening to every conversation about the new job vacancy and coming up with a plan to make everything go wrong on the day Bruno was going to do the interview. A few days later, Bruno passes by the square and finds Andressa, who compliments his outfit and says, "Do you remember that company you told me about? They called me to do an interview. I'm going there now." She wishes good luck. While they are talking, the boy from the other day arrives, teasing them and making fun of Vanessa for selling sweets. The boy asks if the paper in Bruno's hand is a resume and laughingly asks if he is going to do an interview to be a cleaner. What if it's in? Cleaning is a dignified job like any other, just like selling sweets is too. The guy in formal clothes says, I want to see you go for an interview like this, and throws soda on Bruno's clothes, and CV Bruno fights with him and sits on the bench not knowing what to do since he's all dirty. The guy still laughing at him, throws the bullets on the floor and leaves saying he's going to the interview. Bruno bends to Andressa, look at this, I'm all wet. Even my CV is like this in this situation. She advises him to go anyway. He showing his clothes asks if it's really worth it. Vanessa insists, go there, show your CV, then they will see that you are a good person and they won't even care about your clothes. Seeing that she might be right, Bruno decides to go and thanks her for her advice. As soon as Bruno leaves, she thinks, he can't imagine the surprise I have for him. When he arrives at the company, Bruno knocks on the office door and asks for permission to enter. The other guy, who was already in the room, saw that he arrived and says, removing the chair that is next to him, what are you doing here? I already wet you so I can get the job, you're not going to sit next to me. Bruno, who is already irritated with all the implications, asks, what did I do to you? I've never done anything for you, and the boy replies, I was going to stay with that beautiful candy seller, then you came and ruined everything. Bruno replies saying that would never happen, stay there in that square, messing with the girls all day, do you think they like it? And the guy insulting him tells him to get out of there and go sell the bad sugarcane juice he sells, but Bruno doesn't leave and says, I'm all dirty because of you. Without cheating you wouldn't get this job. The guy disagrees, saying to Bruno, with that poor face you have? You won't even get a job cleaning the floors. At that time Andressa arrives, and the guy who did all those bad things to her says, now I just need a candy seller and a sugarcane seller. Andressa goes to the other side of the table and replies, I'm not a candy seller. Bullet, I'm the owner of this company, and I was there in the square, just taking a test to be able to hire honest people. Looking at the boy who is sitting he continues, and of course you will not be hired. Trying to come up with an excuse the boy replies saying that he already knew that it was a test and everything he did was a joke. Andressa accuses him of harassment, calls him a liar and orders him to leave the company before she calls the police. After he left begging for forgiveness, Vanessa asks Bruno to sit down, but before she can say anything, he starts explaining, I'm sorry if I did something you didn't like. She replies, saying that he passed the test. Very happy he replies, thank you very much, I always wanted to have a formal job. She replies, here at the company you'll have the chance to grow a lot. Just keep on dedicating yourself. You're welcome. He thanks her and goes home very happy.